The only way it could be more special is if there was a double rainbow overhead. What does it mean?
On that note, what's up, everyone? To our final Donbrothers video. We've got
Kralika Kane
and
Silverquill
here to talk about the, well, obviously, final episode. Final episode!
Except not, because then there was immediately a teaser for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The story continues.
And there's apparently going to be a director's cut version of this episode.
Wow. Has that happened before?
There's been director's cut of other episodes before, but I don't recall a finale that had a director's cut.
I'm only aware of, well, I'm sorry to invoke this, but Power Rangers Super Mega Force having a director's ending.
Like, Kuga technically has a director's cut of episodes 1 and 2 that are combined to be one episode with extra footage in it.
I just want a director's cut of that one Rongi blowing up a lot.
How did I know that you were going to say that?
Because I'm a dog person, and dog persons have long memories.
Oh, God. It's all right. So prior to us starting this recording, I was mentioning the show What We Do in the Shadows. There's actually a dog. There's a few dogs in it. But there's a golden retriever in the series, in the 4th season, that's a hellhound.
The most adorable hellhound ever.
It is. And when you see the dog, you're like, how is this a hellhound? It's a golden retriever. And then it runs up to a tree that has a squirrel that was chasing. And you see this line of flame and you're like, it's still cute.
It's still adorable. You know what? Eternal suffering wouldn't be so bad if that dog was watching over me. Though with my luck, I'd probably get a chihuahua yipping at me. Little hellhound.
They'd be biting your ankles all the time.
But I thought of you with the golden retriever.
Alright, so our final episode of Donbrothers. We've got Taro is losing his memories that we talked about that we thought was happening at the end of last time.
And I had flashbacks to Revice, and you're talking about the pain of feeling like the person is dying a little. Your relationship is dying, and my family has a longtime friend who's gone into retirement. He is losing memories, and we're bracing for that day where we'll call and he doesn't really know who we are. It may happen.
It is a fear. It's something I've experienced personally myself a number of times with family members, as well as you have experienced it with your aunt.
But I wasn't there for when it got worse.
Well, yes, but just even the experience of it.
So on this happy note,
I think the one difference that is different here than it is with Revice is with Revice, you have that. Okay, friends are family as well. I think of all of our friends, including you, as family. But there's something that's a little bit different here because of the fact that where in Revice, you had it going over a long period where you felt the suffering because you knew it was happening over a number of episodes. The challenge here, that I will admit is one of my pet peeves, is that we didn't get to experience it over a period of time. And so the emotional impact that comes from like what happened in Revice wasn't here.
I will say, however, that the Dawn clan of the Cerebrums is really messed up. Like, this is good job. You found peace with your enemies. You helped your successor mature. We're gonna wipe you clean now.
Well, and so yes, so essentially we get introduced to 2 last villains from the Dawn clan, 7 and 8.
Oh well, the Cerebrums.
Cerebrums, yes, Cerebrums.
And they're freaky.
And the woman, I'm not familiar with the woman who plays 7, but the one who does 8,
Yes, no, yeah.
He is Kaiza from Phys. And so when we first watched the episode earlier this week, I was like, is he going to turn into dust? Because because you haven't seen Phys.
Isn't he but he's the jerk second rider.
Yes, he's the jerk second rider. And he, as creepy as he was here, when you're like, oh, he's creepy, just with that smile. That's how Kaiza was to me in the entirety of Phys.
Oh!
What?
Okay, so the lady that plays Sonona is Yellow Racer in Car Ranger.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely probably not as funny this time around.
But so Kaiza, he looks the same as well. The only difference is nearly 20 years have passed since Phys to here. Is he looks 20 years older, but he doesn't look 20 years older.
Are we talking like Doc Brown in the second Back to the Future, peeling off the mask? I added 20 years to my skin. Oh, what do you think?
He doesn't look like, you can see he looks older, but I hate him for it at the same time because he's nearing 50 and he doesn't look like he should be 50.
I liked how the executioners, when they go to Henshin, they lick their bracelets.
That's part of why they're creepy.
But
but
there was really nothing. There was no character arc for them. They were just kind of there.
They're not there to have a character arc. They're there to be really intimidating badasses.
Well, yeah, I didn't expect a character arc, but at the same time, I feel like I got something from them because just everyone's visceral reaction to both of them says how badass
All I know is that now when I was watching them with the hoods, I was just thinking of the Kingdom Hearts villains.
Oh, the Organization 13. But yeah, where everyone's like, oh god, you're here to kill me, aren't you? It's like, that's the only reason you see these folks. Their only presence is to kill somebody. And I gotta say, the terrible trio that replaced the originals, they got sent off rather
abruptly.
In some ways, they left as quickly as they arrived, and with as much fanfare.
Yeah, I was happy to see them get their comeuppance.
I don't know, it was so depressing.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very proud of himself with that pun.
He has a can-do attitude. But
I'm going to recycle that joke.
There we go. But after the red one sprayed down the wedding, I mean, he really had it coming.
Yeah.
But in a show that really hasn't had a central villain, which is so fascinating, it's mostly been a conflicting ideals and individuals. Looking for a final big bad is not that. It's actually a bit impractical, I think. So yeah, they came and they left with little. Well, they left with a bang, to be sure.
I also like the fact that in the last 2 episodes we had no mech battle.
That is surprising. I honestly expected the motorcycle to get one last henshin in.
I expected that. But I was happy to not see it. The other thing I was a little disappointed on, but I anticipate that maybe there will be more in this upcoming Zenkaiger...
Donbrothers versus Zenkaiger?
Yes. Is going to be Murasume.
Well, okay, there are actually 2 things that I'm curious about. Okay, because if you look, when Kaito's talking about, well, Taro's story is over, and his costume goes white and black.
Yes.
Made me think of Kaito.
Yes.
So could it be that when the true hero is done, they lose their memories, their costume loses all color, and they become a new person?
So do you think that's what happened to Kaito?
Could be.
And it may be that will happen to Taro into King Ogre?
And then Taro is now the one true hero of the world instead of Kaito.
Oh.
Or another true hero. But yeah, that was kind of interesting because I'm like, well, his costume looks just like the way Kaito's does.
So that will be interesting to see.
And given that Kaito's wearing black all the time, and now we've got Taro wearing white.
Also, Taro's icon, his old shipping company was a polar bear theme.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now it's a rabbit. And as I recall, rabbit symbolically is more of a trickster in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it was sent to the moon.
But here's the question.
Jumped on sharks.
Isn't this year the year of the rabbit?
No.
What is this year?
Oh, wait. Yes, it is.
Sorry, he had a harebrained moment.
Because I thought the New Year, when it happened in late January.
This should be the year of the rabbit.
Let's see here. Rabbit. Pardon us while we all Google while we're recording.
Ironically, I don't have my phone. Maybe I should.
Chinese. Hey. But, yeah, so I got that whole concept with that Kaito is that is just like what is happening with Taro.
Oh, okay. In Japan, rabbits represent fortune, moving forward with cleverness, but they are also messengers from the gods. And they are known for, breeding like rabbits.
Yeah, Year of the Rabbit.
Breeding like rabbits.
So, is the Year of the Rabbit everyone's supposed to get funky? Get down?
And last year was the Year of the Tiger.
It's the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. We're gonna get demonetized by you too.
But, okay, yeah, and then Marasume is, for me, the biggest thing that I didn't like is that plot was just resolved too quickly. I'm going to rebel against you.
Well, dude, I realized I didn't like them in pretty short order. I don't blame Marasume for, you lick your clothing. I don't want you to wield me.
But can I say, from a romance fan, yes, I like horror more than romance, but as a romance fan, the one thing I really loved about this episode was when Natsumi goes up to Kijino and is like, do you want to continue the dream together? I was like, yes!
And he,
yes!
And he was carrying the good china in that box.
But I was so happy.
All right, let's see here. I'm just curious.
I don't know. I like how the Inazaka pictures now say Inazaka and unknown woman wanted.
See, I'm just looking up sharks in Japanese.
Oh, because of Motorasumi?
The jaws open to the truth. Let's see. The Japanese have a storm god called the Shark Man, who is a fierce beyond compare. So much was the case. Not a whole lot at the moment. Oh well. I'll try to figure it out because it's interesting what you can learn if you dive just a little deeper with the shark.
Well, that's...
You learn how edible you are.
Well, I will say that's the one thing I really like that they do with Sentai, more so than they did with Power Rangers in America, is that you get just a little bit of education in the culture. So it gives you kind of like almost like a circular feeling, where you get the kids feeling to it, but you learn something at the same time.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Power Rangers gave a great example of high school life, what with their motorcycle fetch quests and being on 60 clubs while maintaining stray days and cleaning the park and teaching kids self-defense and inventing a new dance style, karate.
Okay, I am just going to put this out there.
And never actually having to truly do homework and...
I'm going to put this out here. I'm just going to make it known that no movie in America has ever accurately displayed what high school is like in America. So it has boggled my mind because I want to meet one damn person who, and I was kind of jealous that you never had a random high school experience like this. Because I thought since you had like more of a prodigal life than I did, because...
Prodigal?
white trash, trailer trash to...
Mayonnaise on Wonder Bread?
Exactly.
Thank you.
I expected mayonnaise on Wonder Bread to have, like, some ridiculous high school life like you see in the movies. But clearly that doesn't happen even there.
No, not really. Though that sounds like an interesting superhero to have mayonnaise on Wonder Bread. The widest defenders in the world.
And also, remember, there were teenagers with attitudes, but they didn't really have much attitude.
No attitude.
No attitude. Because... you had some fighting, you didn't have drugs, you didn't have, like, underage drinking, you didn't have ridiculous underage partying. Where was that in their high school experience? I am disappointed with you, Power Rangers.
So, Donbrothers.
So, I will say the final battle was pretty cool, especially when we had, like, Inu riding on Kijino's back, shooting, and they had the camera was kind of gliding around.
And I think that you haven't really complained about the CG in a little while.
That's because I gave up. And the story's been so good, it has distracted away from the CGI for the most part.
Well, there we go.
But we've had, the ramen dude who's from...
Oh, the udon.
Yeah, who's from... He's from Bokinger. He was the main one of the villains.
Oh yes, you said that
Gaja.
before. Apparently, I don't.
Actually, that would be hilarious if he transformed into Gaja in the movie.
I'm going to get you.
Now, his voice, it does make me worried.
He did that same voice in...
Well, that makes me wonder, though, is that his natural voice?
Probably not.
Or just his actor voice?
Well, either his natural voice, actor voice, or maybe, and this is where my, like, conspiracy theory down the dark hole goes, like, maybe there was something wrong, like he had, like, some injury.
As far I don't know squat, but I got the impression it's more a voice he's affecting than is forced upon him. I was also very glad to see the festival celebrators one last time.
And like I mentioned while we were watching, because I know
this is what he actually looks like.
He looks nothing like the guy on screen.
There you go. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't sound like that either.
Oh, okay, yeah. But,
see, if he transforms like into that, it'd be
but it didn't look like CGI, because every other time you see the festival, like, the early on, it always looked like CGI of the bike. But this time it actually looked like they were holding up the platform, and there was a bike of some sort there.
Probably.
Obviously, it was probably styrofoam and everything, but...
I hope so. It's easier on the shoulders.
But I did think that was really cool.
Because,
I wish a manga actually did come out, because that artwork was fantastic looking.
It may yet. Actually, it's kind of funny because it tells the story of the Donbrothers.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I guess we have to pull from Dragon Ball Abridged. How did you know the parts you weren't there for?
I wondered that too. I was like, but then again, it's Haruka, and she seems like a super sleuthy type person who would spy on everything.
Oh yeah, in Drive, the dude was the one scientist in those specials we watched.
Oh, apparently he's still going on about this dude.
We're down.
You were asking.
Hey, it's the year of the rabbit hole. We're going down.
I think the reason why you two get along is you're a dog person and he's the year of the dog.
Oh, you're good, puppy. Oh, you're good, puppy. Oh, you want it, children. Oh, I did it.
Where's the knife? We're about to see a murder on recorded
We're the year
TV.
of the monkey.
Actually, no. All of a sudden, the thing's going to go black. It's going to come back. It's just going to be the two of us talking.
Oh, please. If that was going to happen, it was going to cut out right now. You can edit that.
And have like a loading screen.
Or that's a way to end the review.
Oh my god. That just makes me think of buffering now.
Okay. Really? What do you do in private?
Oh, well, remember I did that joke in my Ultraman Nexus review? Mm-hmm. And people actually thought their computers were going crazy.
But overall, this episode didn't ruin the series for me.
It didn't ruin the series. It's not my favorite finale.
It doesn't... Well, here's the thing. It's okay that it leaves some open-ended questions. You love Die Ranger. Yeah. And that left a huge open-ended question, which I don't believe was ever answered. And it's okay if the door is open for further stories, because that's fun too. But it was a great send-off, and Taro got to close out like a badass. Although as he's stoking the sword, I'm like, Taro, more than twice and you're playing with it.
Well, it's just like, because, yeah, Die Ranger's my favorite series, doesn't have the strongest finale. Meanwhile, All Ranger's the weakest of the 90s series, but it has one of the strongest finales of the 90s shows. Actually, one of the strongest Sentai finales, period.
I'll have to check it out then. I just gotta be curious.
But overall, how I reflect on this series is that Donbrothers was such a great ride. You had the fact that the main character or the main focus was not the Red Ranger. All the characters had great development. Mm-hmm. Even though the heroes and villains essentially did ally with each other coming to the end, the progression was gradual.
And we actually had villains that had development and were fleshed out, as opposed to just there, just to be there.
And while the series was silly, in my perspective, it wasn't like to the point where it was silly where you were talking down to the audience or that you were talking way above the level of the audience either.
It was like a Kaku Ranger type silly. It had silliness, but the serious moments but the silliness was balancing the serious moments.
And it had the most psychopathic Pink Ranger ever, who was a guy, which I'm still
He's loving. One of my favorite Pink Rangers.
He is, and I don't mean for that to sound sexist. Like, yeah, I finally like the Pink Ranger, now they got a guy in the role. No. No.
Oh, wow. Now I'm just picturing, like, now that there's a man doing the Pink Ranger, it just proves how good a man can do the job.
But, I mean, I will say I think the weakest points in the series were how easily resolved the bestials were. The Marasume plot really going nowhere. You know, and then I do think, even though I liked the way the Monsters of the Week were done, I do think they were probably the weakest aspect of the show.
Unless it was Kijino turning it into one.
Or the ninja guy.
Or the ninja guy. Oh, he will forever live in our hearts as a four-timer. He gets the all-time Hall of Fame for most monster transformations in a series. I don't know if any other person got turned into a villain. Even Sailor Moon never had the same person get transformed like 4 times.
Yeah. Except her best friend in the original series got kidnapped or tortured like half time through the first season.
Well, you know, everyone needs their April O'Neil, so...
Well, I like that they actually make a comment of that in Sailor Moon when Luna's like, again? How many times is this girl going to get in the middle of getting attacked by a monster?
So what are your final thoughts of this series?
This has been one of the most innovative Sentai I've seen. It did away with what was the expected structure. And so every episode was just a fun development. And you feel like you've made a long journey, but it was so enjoyable you never thought about it along the way. I never knew where this series was going or how it would develop next, but I really enjoyed it. And, well, if we could just improve the CG a little... I'm okay with the non-human style Rangers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would be curious to see, though, if they've tightened up the CGI in like the Blu-ray release in Japan.
Although, I'll say this, for O Ranger, if any of them try to have a CG proboscis, I'm leaving.
But I will say, this is the first time we have had a male Pink Ranger. Which was really cool. And to have... the female primarily be yellow, which, yes, there's been a number of female Yellow Rangers, but...
I think it's more of the Yellow Ranger being the main character of the show.
Yes, and then...
And our perspective character.
perspective character, and we didn't have a full team. I don't mean the roll call, but we didn't have like a unified team all working together until the tail end of the series.
And even then,
it's still kind of up in the air.
Well, I do like how Inazaka also said that. He's like, yeah, I wish I'd been with you guys longer.
Well, saying goodbye to Taro, and in fact... But yeah, even when he was known, Kijino just wouldn't accept him. Got the Meow-chan transform.
But the love triangle was done very well because Inoue loves his love triangle.
But he didn't do it in the way that he has done with other series in this either.
No.
So it worked. Everything he did in this series worked. I think my favorite episode is the one with Inu, and Sononi when they're on the run from Murasume. But the other top contenders are the 2 episodes with the duel between Taro and...
the duel episodes are...
Sononi.
He's late.
No, I like the fact that when they're going to do these duels, that they have to help deliver packages. Because Taro will not stop doing his job.
I don't recall ever hating an episode. There were a couple episodes I didn't think were stronger than others, but I don't recall ever truly hating an episode.
And I was very happy that whomever was in charge of the show said, we're not going to do a mech battle every week.
Well,
we're not going to just sell toys.
Well, from what if I recall right, that was Inoue's decision.
Well, good on Inoue, because this was... Okay, there were more mechs than in original. I mean, you had the bike and Tyrannosaurus, then the 5-part combiner, then a dark version of the combiner. I mean, there's actually were a lot of mechs, but it never felt like they were trying to sell extra add-ons.
So, and that was the other thing I was going to say with this show. So, it's had the highest Sentai toy sales in years.
Ooh.
And it's the highest rated Sentai show since Kyoryuger.
Well, to be fair, I still have the Henshin device and the coins in my cart that I keep on hesitating buying every month, mainly because something else.
Oh, I thought you said car, not cart.
Cart.
On Amazon.
Because I was like, oh, let's go for a ride. I want to see this.
But I still intend to get this Henshin device because I really do enjoy it. And yes, it's practically the same Henshin device as Zenkaiger, but it feels different here.
It's a bit more fun.
Yes.
So you might call this series a win for the ages. Metatashi.
Well, and that's the other thing is Inoue even said he was writing the show for those who grew up with the Showa era of Sentai, while also he wanted the main character to be the female ranger because he wanted to show that Sentai is not just a boys show.
As I just about a okay.
Yeah, your sexism is showing.
They had elements of obviously modern Sentai in it. But everything that Inoue did with this series from experimental standpoint worked.
Well, and I was once again happy that yes, one of our favorite rangers in the series, the Kijino, the Pink Ranger, he's also once again an older ranger.
Yes. I mean, I love Blue for being a 30-year-old who loved puns, my spirit animal, in Kyoryuger. But, I don't know, I'm going to have to come up with my dream team. It's like Blue from Kyoryuger, Yellow from Kira Major. I don't know if I'd want the Kijino, even though he is one of the more standout pinks for me.
I would still
Oh my god, if you picked your favorite...
If I picked an all-male Sentai
That's
team,
what I was going to say! You're inevitably going to pick an all-male Sentai team.
No, I can't do that.
Well,
there have been some great female leaders.
As much as I love Kijino, Time Pink is still my favorite Pink Ranger.
See, I know her better from the Power Rangers Time Force, so I feel like I'm experiencing a difference.
Well, I will say, the one thing I like about Kijino is he reminds me of Doc. From Gokaiger.
Oh, there you go. My green is Doc from Gokaiger.
You're going to have an all-male Sentai team.
I don't know. Maybe
it could be like Sun Vulcan no women allowed in this club.
Oh dear, oh god. Now, wait a minute. There's never been a female Six Ranger. Well, okay.
Yes, there has.
Yeah, but go on, Silver.
Yeah, but that's a go on, but introduced with a dude. There's never been a badass Six Ranger.
Well, it's just like the same thing. We got a female Red in Shekinger, but it was at the end of the series where you don't feel like, yes, this was an awesome female Red Ranger.
I'll choose her just so to break up the sausage fest.
Karu.
At the end of it all, want, as the next step forward, for there to be a female Red.
Like what Power Rangers is doing next season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Pink Ranger is becoming the Red Ranger.
And what series are they doing?
Cosmic Fury.
Yes, but what Japanese series?
Just the mechs from Q Ranger. Everything else is original Power Rangers footage.
Oh! Wow. So it's going to be like Ju 2 in a way, Ju 2 footage.
But the suits have now been made with muscles on them.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
For some reason, we Americans really need to flex. I mean, if they have a suit-up... if their transformation is like Batman and Robin's suit-up sequence...
Well, they can't have nipples. It's a children's show.
You never know.
Crotch shot, ass shot,
Pack
bat nipples.
Back credit card.
Okay, I have to say, as much as there's like a lot of drama with Nostalgia Critic and that guy, his review of that movie with the bat credit card
was still his best.
Yes. But overall, I'm happy that we watched Donbrothers, that we got him past his hatred of the CGI.
Or at least made him give up.
Yes, or made him give up. And...
yeah, here's the example of, like, the Blue Ranger's costume.
I don't understand. Okay, like you said, with the whole, we have to show muscles. I have never, like, yes, I love muscular men. I love men in general. But I have never, like those really, like, overly toned dudes.
So wait, you approve of my all-male Sentai team? Because that would be really weird.
Well, I would approve of it just because most of them would be hot. Yeah. Actually, no. Would they be?
See.
Well, okay, I know you wouldn't go for Kyroger Blue, but how about Kirame Yellow? He had the pretty boy look going.
He had the pretty boy look, but I would go with Blue from that series.
Of course you would. He's the
well, he's also so idiotic.
Oh, yes, and someone has asked, what with a picture of the Blue from King Oger, yes, why can't guys dress like this in modern era? And I replied, because I can't find a jacket with that many zippers.
I didn't see that tweet.
Okay, to be fair, there is something to be said about that bad boyish, like, look.
As Waspinator said in Beast Machines, chicks dig loner biker bit.
Yes, yes. I'm just going to put that out there. I can't defend it. I can't deny it. Because if I put up all the men that I have, like, adored, because we have Ryuki out there.
With Ren.
And even when I watched we watched
the Geo Rider Time special that was a 3-part episode with Ryuki.
So,
you saw that.
Even when I saw Ren almost 20 years later from Geo, I'm like, he still looks good.
But I want you to see the Blade 2-parter.
We'll get to that when we eventually watch Geo.
Ren.
Which might be sometime this year.
We've lost her.
On that note, what did you guys think about the finale to Donbrothers? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think, Let us know in the comments below. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. You can support me and Kuralaka and Kaiju no Kami on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and anywhere else I haven't been banned from yet.
Why did you put it like that? Have you been banned from something recently?
No, but I got a warning from Facebook.
Oh, go on.
No, please. Please share with the world. Especially any of your students who might be watching.
I was responding to a comment from a woman who said that any gods beyond the Christian God is just a cartoon character.
Well, people do worship SpongeBob.
Really?
In a metaphorical sense, yes.
Oh, okay.
Not like. Were you expecting an actual church? Oh, holy SpongeBob. From the domain of Pineapple Grove and Bikini Bottom, please send us your divine.
I kind of said some things to her, like called her some names that Facebook didn't like. But so it was funny.
Did you call her any swears?
Yeah, but it was funny because Facebook says this post has violated. I said, "Do you agree or say?" I was like, "Yeah, fair, accept." And they said, "We understand mistakes happen. There will be no restrictions on your account."
So suddenly my sexist ranger team is actually sounding not so bad by comparison. I don't know how you managed to one-up me in just one story.
I respect you, honey, because you're defending my beliefs of saying that all of my other gods are not cartoon characters.
Do you worship SpongeBob?
I do not worship SpongeBob. I did not know that was an option, but I may have to reevaluate my decisions now.
What, you're seriously considering?
No!
Are you going to be the first member of the Church of SpongeBob?
Yes!
She's just soaking in the idea.
Soaking in the idea. Absorb it.
Well, I was thinking if you can worship SpongeBob, that maybe you can worship Squidward.
Okay, back to our stuff though. Creativity by Design LLC.com is our website, and Creativity by Design LLC.com/shop is where you can buy cool Kaiju no Kami merchandise. There's also a link in the description below, and I will give Donbrothers a 4 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. What do you think?
I'm just processing that.
Get to your links
again.
Well, you can find me on DeviantArt, Twitter, and YouTube under MLP Silver Quill. You can also Google search After the Fact Silver Quill, and you'll find me. Don't just look for After the Fact, though. You'll find a news program that is highly educational, but not nearly as charming.
Do you know for a fact it's educational?
I like to think that most news is educational. Fox News is not news.
I was gonna say.
Fox News is not news.
They even admitted in the dang thing that they were lying about the election results.
Which is why they're not news. They're a propaganda machine.
But I'm waiting for them to say Hitler wasn't real. Because that would just go the next step with their propaganda.
Give that for OA.
Oh, yeah. OAN.
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 I know, I think the Guardians of the Universe might actually have some conspiracy theories. But no. Yeah, you can find links to my Patreon and Ko-fi to support After the Fact as I look at things both philosophical and silly. As for, I don't usually do numbered rankings because the whole scores are relevant to their series.
Ooh, you sound like a hipster. Number rankings are so irrelevant.
Well, okay, to be fair, some people do just they just care about the score and then they base the whole opinion based on the score instead of actually looking into the details.
So I will say that Donbrothers is extremely recommended. Maybe not the best introductory Sentai because it's so atypical, but it's definitely one to show Sentai's strengths and possibilities in storytelling. And also a good cultural insight into Japan and its mythology. Especially how the Oni is still paying its dues.
It does the Taro story better than Ultraman Taro.
Alright. So, to play on the whole hipster aspect and to play on the Kaiju no Kami numerical aspect, I will say, to shake it up, Donbrothers is awesome-tacular.
Okay, Jeremy Sisson.
Actually, now you're a plagiarist. We can call you plagiarist now.
No, Never! I have never plagiarized anything.
You just did.
Well, we're doing it. Yep.
Awesome-tacular is a word. It is not known for just one thing. He did not create the word awesome-tacular.
And yet we're all thinking of him right now.
Okay, until next time, which you'll see Krellick and I talk about King Oger probably tomorrow or Monday, depending when the subs come out, because we can't wait for you because of convention next weekend.
Fair.
Until next time, bye.
Repent, plagiarist. Oh, my finger.